Hi, ladies. Long time no see. Y'all, I have been sick. Anybody else had this crud? I've been blowing my nose for a month, I think. I think you can still hear it in my head, but I actually feel much better. So I thought, well, let's get on, do a little makeup. I think I can do it today. It's kind of late in the day, but we're going to do it. So I did my skincare. My core skincare line is my Glowplexion. I do use other products as well. We have a Youthplexion line, and we have some targeted skincare that I do add, but that is our core line. Today we're going to be featuring the Under Eye Trio. This is a bundle that I've put together for young looking soft under eyes. So I have put that together. I actually featured it in the links, but you can just say me in the comments and I'll send you this link if you need me to. With this bundle, you're going to get a free gift, which is going to be the headband and the wristlets for when you wash your face. I don't know if y'all have ever used, wait, my light went out. I don't know if y'all have ever used the wristlets, but the water doesn't run down your arms when you wash your face. So it's really neat. But this is really, really pretty. It's a pretty color. It's a pretty color. Anyway, if you would like to get one free, you can do that today. All right, we're going to try to go for a real, you can hear that. You can say, I'm still wheezing a little. Just a natural skin look today. So we're going to use our cream foundation along with our under eye trio and keep this really basic and youthful looking. So I've already done, of course, my skincare, my sunscreen, and I use my primers. I use both the mattifying primer in my T-zone, and then I use the illuminating primer all over to give me that glow, which I just love. Love, love, love. And then we're going to use our cream foundation. If you have not used the cream foundation, this cream foundation is so so natural looking. It only takes a little bit, so you don't want to cake it on. It's very buildable. Just start with a small amount. You can just dab a couple of times, just barely get some on your brush. And you want to just tap this all over, buff it out, and then add a little more if you feel like you need more. So I always start on my cheeks because that's where I have the most redness. So I will just kind of start there and buff it out. And I will do that all over. Like I said, I've only got a very little bit on my brush, and I just add to it as I need to. And I did just wash all my brushes, which is something I have needed to do. Sort of light layers. We're not going for a full coverage. We're just going for something really soft and skin-like. And it is made to just buff out. I'm using a kabuki brush. If you don't have one, I can send you the link to this one. A kabuki brush is going to be a flat, denser brush. And they are not all created equal. You don't want one where the fibers want to come out of the brush. My cheeks is where I'm always the most red. So that's where, that and my nose, of course, I'm blowing my nose a lot, so. But this cream foundation is so youthful looking. And like I said, I like to just use a tiny bit at a time and just gradually build it to what I'm looking for. See how good that looks? And the goal here is just to keep everything really, really youthful looking. Now, for our under eye trio, our eye cream, I already used my eye cream. And then we're going to put this concealer and this Uplift Beauty Oil. We're going to mix this together, just 1 drop of beauty oil with some concealer. Those steps alone will make such a huge difference in how your under eyes look. I'll put a little bit of concealer down here on my top. And then I'm going to take my beauty oil and I'm going to put a drop right there on top. And I'm going to mix that together. So you know, as we age, we have to kind of be careful with our under eyes. I'm going to look this way a little bit so I can see better. And then I'm going to put it right through my T-zone. Now, I like to use a beauty blender. I have got this really wet, squeezed it out real good, and it's just barely damp. I think this makes the prettiest finish. It just keeps it pretty natural looking. And if any of you have been sick like I have, whew, well, first of all, you haven't felt like putting on any makeup, but you do need to. I have been looking kind of scary. But that's very thin, just very lightweight. I like to make sure I get to the inside of my nose. Now, just very, very youthful looking. And then I like to use our pressed powder. This powder is so moisturizing. It is infused with hyaluronic acid and vitamin E. It is so moisturizing. When we dust it on, I like to use this really large brush, dust it on very lightly, and then within just minutes, your face, just your natural oils kind of come through, but your face is set. And it also has coverage. So our cream sticks go right over the top of these powders. You will be surprised. Like I said, it's a very light dusting, even under my eyes. It's not a whole lot of product. And the fluffier your brush, the lighter the application. Now for our cream sticks. Love our cream sticks. So I'm going to use some chocolate souffle, and then some cinnamon latte. Cinnamon latte I like to use sort of for a bronzer. Chocolate souffle is going to be my contour. I'm not going to put that under my lip. And you know, when you can put this over the top of powder, this powder is not your everyday powder. It is so creamy. Look how that's blending. I love a good contour. See how that just adds dimension? So much dimension. I'm not too precise about my nose. I really just kind of shadow it a little bit. I swear this is the first makeup I've had on in days. I like to push this up into my hairline. Now, and if you hop on, be sure and say hello. And if you don't mind, hit the like button or the heart button. Anything helps my video. I appreciate that a lot. It helps my video to reach more women. All right, so I like to use cinnamon latte for a bronzer because it's a bronzy color. I like to just put a dab here and here, a little up here. You should probably switch brushes, but I'm just kind of using the same brush that I was using for my contour. I keep that up here, and then I'll take, after I get my blush on, we'll just use a big brush and sort of blend it all together. I kind of go on top of my cheekbones because they're high, and if I don't, then it's sitting too far under, if that makes sense. So I'll be going kind of close to my eye because of the way my cheekbones, see, they're real high. Even at my old age, they're still high, which I'm not complaining about. Looking for a blush. Let's use Madly Magenta. This is so pretty. A tiny bit right there. Hello, thank you. Now, I got a new tripod, so my angle is a little different, but it's actually allowing me to look into the camera more. Now, I'm just going to take a clean brush and just sort of go over everything and sort of blend it all in. This has no product on it. It's just a clean brush. Now, for blurring these lines, my marionette lines under my eyes, I like to use this setting powder. It has such a pretty blurring effect that the other powder doesn't give. The other powder gives a little more coverage and helps to set. This, you don't have to have the other one. This one I wouldn't go without. I love this one. I like to use a fluffy brush with it. It has water molecules, so it's very moisturizing. And it just has the prettiest blurring effect without drying your eyes. I mainly just use it right here in the T-zone. Be sure you put the cap because it will dry out. You don't want those water molecules to dry out. Okay, now I think I want to use use a little bit of a powder bronzer along with a little illuminator. Use my great big brush. We'll go in here with this bronzer. Do that on both sides. Now, and you know what? Let's use our cream illuminator. I have a cream. Here we go. No, not that. Hold on. Where is it? Playful Pink. Here it is. Flurry Frost. Let me find a good brush. I don't think this brush, I might better use my finger and then use a brush. This is so pretty. Just catches the light. You'll notice I'm using these creams over the tops of these powders. That's how creamy they are. Now, trying to keep this as youthful as we can. Now we're gonna use our setting spray. I'm almost out. Okay. I need to open a new bottle, but I hate to waste. So just gonna press that in. This really brings your face back to life. And then dry it down. All right. I still feel like I look dead. That's what happens when you've been sick. All right, let's get a little bit of eyeshadow. I'm going to use this neutral shade up here. You see I use a lot of it. And just cover my entire lid. That good and bright. Do the same thing. I'm going to use this angled brush and I'm going to go on my lower lash line. Because I really want to keep all that bright. All right, I'm going to go in with this camel color right here. Just trying to open my eye up a little. You can see how I am dealing with droopy, sad eyes right now. Now, I'm going to take my stick. This is my eyeshadow stick. And I'm going to put a little on my my lower lash line. Because I'm trying to brighten these eyes. There it is. I'm looking for my mascara. And that is waterproof. That is not going anywhere. There it is. I knew I felt a lash. Okay, I'm going to put some eyeliner on. I normally do a good bit of eyeshadow in my corners, and I'm trying to do something a little different. But out of habit, I continue to do that. So I'm gonna try to do a little liner and see if I can go without as much eyeshadow and give my eye a little bit of, just open it up more. On this eye, my contacts are different. If y'all have monovision contacts, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just trying to give a tiny bit of a, I mean the smallest amount of a wing. I think that's pretty good. Then I'm just going to take a brush and just sort of feather this out. And just try not to overdo, if I can hold on to my brush, the dark eyeshadow, and keep the eyeshadow kind of light. And that's going to open our eye up more. But bad or old habits are hard to break. So I'm trying. And I'm going to try to go heavier on the top lash, I think, and not so much on the lower lash. But let's get these brows done. That's another thing. If I don't do my brows, if I don't go on and do my brows, I'll tend to put more eyeshadow on. Move some stuff. Let's do some brows. That's really a good eyeshadow color. It's real subtle. All right, let's try this side. Trying to work on that arch first. Get that arch where I want it. Get my light back on. See how when we get these brows done, we don't need quite as much eyeshadow. I think those are fairly even. They are not perfect, but we don't want to overdo them. I like to take my powder brush. I'm not adding any extra powder, but this is the brush I had powder on, and just set those brows. It softens them and sets them. All right, let's do a tiny bit of powder blush. I'm going to use a big fluffy brush. I love blush, so I'm always adding more. Now, all right, let's get our lashes curled. See, eyeshadow, super, super simple, and I don't think we're going to need to do much more. we go. Just the tiniest bit of eyeshadow. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to turn on my heated curler, let that curl, let that heat up, and I'm going to use my manual curler and get started. Making sure your lashes are curled really opens your eyes up a lot. Just why I like to go in with the heated curler afterwards. Really set it. All right, now we're going to go in with this one. So I've got this under eye trio linked below. If there's anything you want to switch out, I mean, we can do that. This is just what I use. And with that purchase, you're going to get a free headband and wristlets for washing your face at night. So nice. All right, let's let that cool. Let's put some, let's get our lips done. Let me see. I didn't bring, hold on, I got to get my, my lip liner. Hold on. Okay. See if I can sit down without, this chair's got wheels on it. It wants to roll across the floor. See what I have in here. Okay. Let's use Pinkling Star and Plum Fairy. All right, let's use Plush. This is almost the exact color of my lips. All right. This is Plum Fairy. This is Pinkling Star. And this is Lighthearted. Put a little of this. Pretty. All right, we're going to use the Twisted Mascara. This is our 2-in-1. You've got the tiny wand, and then you've got the big wand. We'll start with the tiny wand. I love this little wand. It really helps to get right up next to the lash line and to separate those lashes out where you want them. I'll let that sit just a minute. We're going to do the other eye. If you get it on you like I just did, just let it dry. Whoop. Oh, I'm dropping everything today. Trying to keep the mascara on the lower lashes just to the outer half. I'm using the larger side of the wand now. Isn't it something what a little bit of makeup can do? See, and we didn't really have to use a ton of eyeshadow. I don't think it looks, I think I'm just habitually, that's just what I do, but I kind of like having them a little more open. Where's my little, yeah, I'm going to use my little setting powder and dab. There we go. See how much better that looks with the blurring powder. And I'm not using a whole lot, just what's kind of left in the top. Now, and that is it. Not too bad. You'll have to let me know what you think, but I think that is nice and youthful looking. That's our cream foundation. Very light layer of it. A light dusting of our pressed powder. And of course, I always use our setting powder because it has such a pretty blurring effect. And our under eye trio, that's our eye cream, our uplift beauty oil, and our concealer. If you're interested in that, I did pin that link, but if you need help, let me know and I'll send it directly to you. But that is mixing that uplift beauty oil in with the concealer to just create a thinner layer, a more moisturizing layer, and of course we've got our under eye cream already on when we get started. That's it, y'all. Glad to be back. It's been a while, but I appreciate y'all hopping on. If I can help you with anything, let me know. Don't forget our skincare line. Our core line is our Glowplexion. We also have Youthplexion. We also have a universal line. So anything you need, targeted, whatever your problem areas are, let's talk about it, and we'll get you fixed up with what will help you solve those problems, because that's the name of the game. We want to solve some problems. All right, y'all, I'm gonna hop off. Appreciate you hopping on, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.